When Dubai set out to redefine luxury living, it didn't think small. Rising from the Persian Gulf, the iconic Palm Jumeirah was envisioned as a symbol of ambition, wealth, and limitless possibility. Built in the early 2000s, this massive man-made island shaped like a palm tree promised ultra-luxury villas, pristine beaches, and a lifestyle reserved for the world's elite. Developers marketed it as a once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity. Celebrities, billionaires, and international buyers rushed in, snapping up properties before construction was even complete. Prices soared quickly, with villas selling for millions. It seemed like nothing could go wrong. But beneath the glossy brochures and bold promises, cracks were already forming. The sheer scale of the project posed engineering challenges. The artificial land required constant maintenance. Environmental concerns were brushed aside in the race to build fast and sell faster. At the peak of its hype, Palm Jumeirah represented more than real estate. It was a statement. Dubai was telling the world it could do the impossible. Yet big dreams often come with big risks. And while the island stood as a marvel of modern engineering, few people questioned what would happen if the market slowed down. Because when reality finally caught up, the consequences would be impossible to ignore. Palm Jumeirah wasn't just a construction project. It was a $5 billion gamble on endless growth. Dubai's economy at the time was booming, fueled by tourism, real estate, and foreign investment. Confidence was high, and developers believed demand would never dry up. The island's villas were marketed aggressively across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Buyers were told they were securing a piece of the future. Many didn't even plan to live there. They bought purely as an investment, expecting prices to keep rising. And for a while, they did. Speculation drove the market into overdrive. Properties were flipped multiple times before completion. Some investors never even saw their villas in person. The system depended on one thing: constant growth. But that growth wasn't sustainable. The global financial crisis of 2008 hit hard. Suddenly, buyers disappeared. Financing dried up. Property values dropped sharply. What was once seen as a guaranteed profit became a risky liability. Developers struggled to keep up. Some projects slowed. Others stopped entirely. Investors who had overextended themselves began to pull out. The illusion of unstoppable expansion started to crumble. Palm Jumeirah, once a symbol of unstoppable success, was now facing a harsh new reality. The demand that fueled its rise was fading fast. And as the market cooled, something unexpected began to happen. Luxury villas, once fought over, started sitting empty. At the height of its popularity, every villa on Palm Jumeirah seemed like a prize. But after the crash, many of these properties were left vacant. Entire stretches of the island began to feel unusually quiet. Rows of luxury homes stood untouched. Pools sat unused. Gardens went unmaintained. What was meant to be a vibrant community started to resemble a ghost town in certain areas. For many investors, holding onto these properties became a burden. Maintenance costs remained high, even as property values fell. Some owners simply walked away, unable or unwilling to keep paying. Others tried to sell, but buyers were scarce. The situation created a strange contrast. On one hand, Palm Jumeirah still attracted tourists and high-end visitors. On the other, parts of it felt incomplete and underused. Stories began to circulate about abandoned villas and stalled developments. While not every property was empty, the visible gaps were enough to raise concerns. People started asking questions. Had Dubai built too much, too fast? Was the demand ever real, or just inflated by speculation? The image of perfection began to crack. Palm Jumeirah was still standing, still impressive, but no longer untouchable. It had become a reminder that even the most ambitious projects are vulnerable to market forces. And the biggest question remained: could the island recover? Beyond the financial issues, Palm Jumeirah faced challenges that went deeper than the market. Building an artificial island on this scale came with long-term consequences that weren't fully understood at the start. The island was created using millions of tons of sand and rock, carefully shaped into its iconic palm design. But maintaining that structure required constant monitoring. Waves, tides, and natural erosion didn't stop just because the island was man-made. Over time, concerns emerged about water circulation around the island. Some areas experienced stagnation, affecting marine life and water quality. Environmental critics argued that the project disrupted natural ecosystems in ways that couldn't easily be reversed. Then there was the issue of sinking and shifting land. While not catastrophic, even minor movements required ongoing maintenance and reinforcement. These hidden costs added pressure to developers and property owners alike. Infrastructure also struggled to keep up. Early residents reported delays in utilities, transportation, and basic services. What was promised as seamless luxury sometimes fell short in practice. These issues didn't cause an immediate collapse, but they contributed to a growing sense that Palm Jumeirah wasn't as flawless as it appeared. Behind the stunning skyline and beachfront views, there were real challenges that couldn't be ignored. And as time went on, it became clear that building something this ambitious wasn't just about creating it. It was about sustaining it. Dubai didn't ignore the problems. Instead, it adapted. In the years following the downturn, the government and developers took steps to stabilize the market. Regulations were introduced to reduce speculation. Financing became more controlled. The goal was to create a more sustainable real estate environment. At the same time, efforts were made to revive interest in Palm Jumeirah. New hotels, attractions, and entertainment options were added to draw visitors and investors back to the island. Luxury brands returned. Tourism rebounded. Slowly, confidence began to rebuild. Some of the previously empty villas found new owners. Others were renovated or repurposed. While the scars of the crash remained, the island was no longer in decline. Dubai also diversified its economy, reducing its reliance on real estate alone. This helped protect against future shocks and made the overall system more resilient. Palm Jumeirah evolved from a speculative hotspot into a more stable, long-term investment. But the lessons were clear. A reminder that behind every billion-dollar project, there are human decisions, economic cycles, and real-world consequences. And while Dubai continues to push boundaries, it does so with a deeper understanding of what's at stake. Because in the end, the real story isn't about collapse. It's about what happens after. And whether the dream can survive reality.